Okay, just a reminder, on page 7, I posted a video. This should be filled in. Okay, strongly recommend just go to September 11th. I posted that video. It's like 5 or 6 minutes. We're not gonna forget about buying a new vehicle, but we're gonna move on to used. So that's on page 14. If you could have your booklets open to page 14. So on your study sheet now you can kind of have a subheading by, so every section, right, should have a heading maybe on your study sheet that you know, okay, this is buying used territory. So I cannot use the formulas for buying new. Okay. So here we go. So dealership versus private, that's where it's at. That's the big question you need to ask yourselves when it's buying used, because when it's used, right, like it means that a person could sell it privately on Kijiji or Marketplace or Auto Trader, anything like that. Someone can sell their own car there. Okay, so what's the big difference? Anybody know the difference between buying at a dealership and private? Like, what's the big deal? Anybody bought a car in this class? Usually, you bought one. Did you buy it privately? Yeah. Do you know what the advantages of buying private, or no? The biggest advantage, obviously, it's going to be cheaper because it lost its value compared to new. But taxes, guys, taxes are the big difference. You know how you pay PST and GST? And when you're buying private, you only pay PST. You don't pay the GST. Okay, so that's big. So let's make a note of that. It's 12% at a dealership, right? And private, it's 7%. And I'll say only PST. What does PST stand for? Yeah, there we go. You had good teachers. You had good teachers in grade 11. All right, I knew that. That makes my job a lot easier. Provincial sales tax. So only the provincial is being paid here. Some definitions. MPI. What does MPI stand for? Manitoba Public Insurance. Yeah. So I'm going to shorten Manitoba Public. They're on strike right now. Okay, so it's causing a lot of havoc out there. You can't safety your car. People can't transfer. Like if you want to sell your car, you can't transfer ownership. It's a bit of an issue right now. In Manitoba, car insurance is provided by a Crown Corporation. You can buy insurance online or through an Autopack agent. I'm sure you've seen that too. Autopack agents are all over the city. Safety inspection. Does that ring a bell? A safety? A car needs a safety. So prior to insuring a vehicle in Manitoba, it needs to pass the safety inspection called, this is important, I will ask you this from time to time. A safety inspection is also called a certificate of inspection, a COI. That's the official name that a mechanic, they have a paper, and on the top it says certificate of inspection. Okay, it is valid for 12 months, guys. Okay, so if you buy a used car and that person just safetied it, you can actually use that safety to sell it again before the end of the year without having to do another one. Okay, the document has 3 copies, white, pink, and yellow. And I learned this the hard way. The person buying the car gets the white copy. I bought a truck 2-3 years ago. I was a bit naive, so I'm about to like hand over the keys or like take the keys, and the owner says, yeah, just take the yellow one. I think I keep the white one. So I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. I go to an Autopack agent. It's like, we need the white copy. So I had to drive all the way back to the owner and get the white copy. So just make sure you get the white copy, okay? A TOD stands for transfer of, sorry, I need to look here. Oh yeah, transfer of ownership document. And you might think, oh my goodness, I'll never remember this, but you need to. Like if you're buying a car, that is a document that Autopack will ask you for. You cannot insure your car if you don't have that. And I will show you a sample in a bit. I'll just say this, make sure the information on this blue form matches the vehicle being purchased or sold. So I'll talk more about that. Bill of sale, a legal document that lists the names of all parties involved, as well as the make, model. What is a VIN number? I'll talk about that in a bit. That's very important actually. It's a serial number. Every car has one very specific to that car. There is no identical VIN. Every car has their own VIN number, vehicle identification number. Mileage of the vehicle at the time of the transaction. Everyone should have a signed copy of this document. You can get a template online or just go to MPI and they have templates you can print. Bill of sales, make 2 copies, one for you, one for the person either buying or selling. And then you both sign both copies. Purchase price, the actual value paid for the vehicle. I'm going to use a different highlighter here. The purchase price, did you know that it may be more or less than the book value? And by the book value, I mean that Autopack, they have in their records, they have a list of what should that vehicle be worth in general, and you could have paid more or less than that. Okay. Book value here is the value of the car based on its make and age. I will say this, it does not always reflect the actual market value, okay? It provides a reference point. It's a reference point for Autopack. You can call Autopack agent and ask for the book value of the vehicle you're considering on buying and selling. I actually do that before I'm buying. It's like, hey, what is it worth to you guys? Just so I know, right, that I'm not overpaying. You will need to provide a make, year, model of the car. No surprises there. Trade-in, I think we all know what a trade-in is, right? That's when you give your car as part of the payment and they take it and you need to pay the rest, so no surprises there. Parts and labor, watch this. Parts and labor, any repairs or work done as well as parts being replaced are taxed PST, right? So P&L are taxed GST and PST, okay? It is a good idea to calculate the parts and labor, right? I will highlight that. Calculate parts and labor prior to determining the cost of purchasing the car. I would strongly suggest that, otherwise it gets a little messy. A lien search. What in the world is a lien search? A lien is a claim or legal right against assets that are typically used as collateral to satisfy a debt. A lien is established, right? Here it is. A lien is established by a financial institution. A lien serves to guarantee an obligation, such as the repayment of a loan. No taxes on this. That's important. Highlight that as well. Guys, just remember this. You need to search the database. I'll show you how to do that. Whether or not a car has a lien on it. You're like, what's lien? What's that weird word? So let's say I want to buy a car and I get a loan from the bank to buy that car, right? They put a lien on it saying, hey, until you've paid this car off, it belongs to the bank. They can take it if they want, okay? Once I pay it off completely, the lien is removed and now you're free to do whatever you want. You can sell it, you can trash it, you can do whatever you want. It's yours now, right? So you don't want a lien on a car that you're planning on buying. So when I bought my car, I did a lien search and they said, oh, there's money owed on this car. And I was like, I'm not buying it. So I called the owners, like, I like your truck, but I'm not buying it because you owe on it. And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. I'll just pay it off as soon as you buy it. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. You show me a paper showing that you've paid it off, and then I'll buy it off of you. So he went to the bank, paid it off. He sent me over email a document saying it's fully paid, no more lien on it. Then I went ahead and purchased it. So you gotta kind of be careful because you might get in trouble for not checking. When it comes to the real world, guys, claiming ignorance doesn't help. You're saying I didn't know, it's not always going to work for you, okay? I strongly recommend that you perform a history check. I'm going to use a different highlighter here. I strongly recommend that you perform a history check on the vehicle you're planning on purchasing. Have you heard of Carfax? No? They're not doing a good job at advertising then. Carfax is a good website, okay? It will search for any reported accidents, damages the vehicle has been involved in. So here's my iPad for you, because I will show you how to do that. It's super easy. Ready? You Google Carfax. It takes you here. And watch this. It's asking you to enter the VIN number of the car. You can ask the owner of the vehicle, like, hey, I need your VIN number. They're going to send you a picture. Anybody know where the VIN number is located? I don't know. Where is it, Andre? It's in the front, like by the front windshield. Usually by the driver's side, there's a little plate there, a metal plate. You can actually see it when you look in, and that's the VIN number. It's also on the door panels. It's basically everywhere on the car. If your door doesn't match the VIN number on the dashboard, if that VIN doesn't match, what does that mean? It probably has been involved in an accident. Somebody smashed that door, they replaced it with another one, and so now you know for sure, hey, if those VIN numbers don't match, they're without even paying for this. Anyways, you're going to enter that VIN number. I'm going to show you a sample report because I don't want to pay, right? So this is a sample report here. They will give you two options. Do you want vehicle history and a lien check? Oops. Sorry, guys. I need to learn how to use this again. Let's go back. That's sample report, right? View sample report. I would do the vehicle history and the lien check. Check both of these. You pay a little bit more. It's $64. In my books, that's not bad at all. So this is a sample. It's a Ford Explorer, one owner, it says. And watch this. It says here, lien record found. You're like, uh-oh. So that person owes money on this car. Not a good thing, right? It's not a big problem, but you just need to know you need to deal with that. There's damages found. In this case, there's no US history, so some cars come from the US, right? So you kind of want to know that. There's a recall found. That's not a big deal either, but sometimes companies recall vehicles to like replace something that could potentially fail on the vehicle. No import record found, right? How we check for liens. Carfax Canada uses the VIN to search the government record, right? And so they check for that. Oh, there's accident and damage. 2017, April 24th, there was an accident reported. It's minor. So we'll show you all of this about your particular vehicle. Mr. Dirksen, what if that person never claimed it? They had a crash, they just fixed it in their backyard. That is not going to be here, right? But at least the ones that are claimed, you will know, okay? Okay, let's keep going. You have your green formula sheet, right? I want you to take that out right now. Green formula sheet. Because I don't want you to use your valuable study sheet for this part. So this is the front of it. You want to go to the back And if you're ever unsure about taxes, watch this. They tell you what PST is, they tell you what GST is, that's 12% added. And here are all the breakdowns of the taxation for this course. I will make this a little simpler for you, okay guys? That's why I copied this one and I pasted it here. So follow along, please. Dealership versus private. The main difference between the two is that with private, you only pay 7%. PST is due when you register the vehicle at your Autopack agent. It will be calculated based on the greater of either the actual or the book value. Very important. I'm going to highlight that. So the PST is calculated on either the actual or the book value, right? Whichever is, what does it say? Whichever is greater. So buying new, guys, you pay both PST and GST, so it's 12%. Buying used, but if it's at a dealership, you still pay both taxes. It's still 12%. Nothing changes. Bless you. Buying used, but private, when it's private, no GST, guys. Okay? So it's only 7%. Right? Actual or book, whichever one is greater. Okay. Safety, no PST, only GST, and we know that GST is 5%, so just write a 5% next to this. Materials and labor, this is also known as, write this down, parts and labor, any service that is being done to a car, oil change, diagnostic, anything, it's always 12%. You pay both taxes on it. A lien search, no PST, no GST. Watch this, right? No PST and no GST. So a lien search is not taxed in Canada. Okay, that's good to know. Now, students struggled big time with this one. This was always my, how do I break this one? How do I break it down for you? So here it is. You're welcome, right? This is your formulas. You need to have these on your study sheet. I will explain them though, because just standalone, they are scary. But when you, this is used, I will put this under the used category, right? Make sure this goes to your study sheet, guys. Study sheet. Okay. Used dealer or used private. So you have to figure out, you're in the used territory, is it dealership or is it private? So that's why it's UD or UP, right? When it's at a dealer, you're going to take the sticker price, subtract the trade, you add 12% taxes. Okay. Safety is only taxed 5%. Remember, safety is only taxed 5%. That's why it's 1.05. Okay, let me just go here. Safety. This would be safety. Safety after tax. Okay, that's what this is. Okay, this would be parts and labor. Parts and labor after tax. Okay. So if there's any mention of parts and labor, we pay 12% on that. Okay, 12%, right? This is 5%. Notice that it's not 1.5, it's 1.05. And lien search, right? No tax. That's why we don't multiply it by anything. And remember, there's a plus in between. There's no multiplying. I've had students multiply this whole thing and it's like millions of dollars, right? I don't think you can afford that car, right? Okay, next. I will just tell you this. When it's at a dealership, make sure you have this bracket here. usually omit it when buying from dealer. Make sure you write this down because you might think, hey, why is this never showing up? It's because usually it doesn't, because the dealership usually has taken care of the safety. They have taken care of the parts and labor. They've taken care of the lien search even, right? It's already going to be in the sticker price, okay? So this part is usually omitted, okay? You can most of the time do this with your hand. I have a big hand, so I can cover everything, right? Usually that's what dealership looks like, just that part right there. Okay, use private. Look at this. It's exactly the same. This part right here is exactly the same as that one. Okay, copy, paste. The only difference is this part right here. Okay, and I will highlight that. This is the purchase price. Okay, and then it's plus the purchase or the book value. It's the greater of the two, right? So I'll say this. Let's put a bracket there. PST collected by MPI. Okay, so 7%. We'll do that. I'm sure put 7%. So this 7%, can you notice that it's 0.07? It's not a typo. It's saying I'm buying the car, and when you go to AutoPack, you're gonna have to pay the PST, and then if there's safety, if there are any parts and labors necessary, and if there's a lien search, you add that. Okay. 5%, 12%, no tax for lien search again. Okay. So I'll add this. I'll just keep going actually. Let's keep going. Can I say this, guys? Listen carefully. When you do one of these, it's used, dealer, or private. Please don't multiply your final answer by 1.12 again. Don't do it, because when you do all of this, it's already including all applicable taxes, right? So don't be adding more. Let's do some work here. Page 16. Okay. I'm guessing the fire drill is going to happen later this period if it happens. So let's try to plow through some of this. Page 16. Do you agree on a price of $12,999 for a used car? Get this. Is used. Add where? Private or dealer? It's dealer. If it says you're buying a used car off of your friend, or a used car off of your dad, or a used car off of your uncle, that's private, right? But if it says dealership, or saying, hey, you're going to Frontier Toyota, right? That is a dealership, right? So you know it's a dealership. You add a remote starter, right? So there's you add a remote starter for almost 500 bucks, and you get 3,500 for your old car. So that's a trade, right? Trade in, okay? How much must be paid in total after tax? So they want total including tax. So here it is. It's used dealer, which calls for sticker minus trade times 1.12. And I will actually do this part. Safety times 1.05 plus parts and labor times 1.12 plus lien. That's what the formula calls for. That's the short version of it. Does this question mention safety? Nope. It doesn't, right? Gone, right? Does it mention any parts and labor? And you're like, Mr. Dirksen, yes. The remote starter would be like a parts and labor scenario. So you could put it in here, but you could also just put it in the sticker, because regardless, you're going to be taxed 12% on it. Okay, so I'm going to say, let's get rid of it here. And there's no lien search mentioned. So you're just down to this. Okay, I will just say this, not mentioned. Sorry, it looks like chicken scratch, right? But it says not mentioned. So your used dealer would be $1,200,999 plus $499.99, right? Minus the trade times 1.12. This will do it. This will take care of it. This is my sticker. Okay. So use dealership. Let's add and subtract. You know what? I will do this for you. 13,498.99. That's by just adding this minus 3,500 times 1.12. And that gives you then 9,998.99. You multiply that by 1.12. So use dealer at the end of the day, if you multiply this, it's going to give you 11,198.87. This is the price you're going to pay after tax. Okay? After tax, you already computed the taxes, you added it to it. Okay. Can I just say at the top here, let's put a subheading here, used dealer. That way you know this is an example where I'm dealing with a dealer. Okay. One more example, and then I'll let you try it yourselves. Okay. Joel finds a Jeep Wrangler. I love my Jeep Wrangler, guys. I have one. For 24,900, and it says private. Ooh, this is use private. Got it. Book value. There. Watch this, guys. The book value is 32,000. Joel pays $65 for safety, and there's a $30 lien search. Calculate the total cost of purchasing after tax. Okay. I know it's a used because it's a private sale, right? If it's a private, it's automatically a used car. So used private. What does that call for, guys? It calls for purchase price plus purchase / book times 0.07. I know you're sleepy, but say this. It's 0.07. It's not 1.07, all right? It's 0.07 plus safety times 1.05 plus parts and labor. This is going to be bad. Plus lien. Sorry, guys. I ran out of runway there. But it says lien there, trust me. Take a moment to write this down because it's important. What is the purchase price? Is it the 32,000 or is it the 24,900? It says, right, Joel finds the Jeep and it's sold for this much. So that is what you write down, 24,900. Plus, which one is greater between, like, Joel goes to AutoPack and they're like, oh, that car in our books is worth 32,000, right? But you pay 24,900. So they're going to tax you on the greater of the two. In this case, it's the book value. So you put the book value in here, but you're not paying 32,000, guys. You just taxed on 32,000 times 0.07. Okay. I will make an arrow because some of you might be confused, right? Greater, right? Greater than purchase, okay? Purchase price, write that down maybe. That's greater than purchase price. Plus, there's a safety. Yes, there is, Mr. Dirksen, it's right there. So you're gonna go plus $65 times 1.05. So you're adding 5% to the 65. There are no parts and labor, right? So I'm going to actually scratch this. It's not mentioned. Plus a lien search, which is 30 bucks, no taxes. So you just tack it on like that. So the formula is great for gathering your information, inserting it, and now you clean it up. So 24,900 plus, you grab your calculator, you go 32,000 times 0.07. This is actually how it works, guys. This is not, I'm not making this stuff up. This is how things work in this province. So there's the PST that Autopack is going to collect from you when you go and insure it. They're going to say, sir, you or ma'am or whatever, you owe us $2,240 in taxes. How would you like to pay? I always say credit card because I don't carry that much money on me, right? Plus 65 times 1.05. So this part right here is 68.25. This part. Okay. And then the $30 just gets tacked on. That's the lien search. No taxes on that. Okay. One more line where you actually add this up. That's where I need my dollar sign. I'm just going to keep the 68.25 on my calculator, go plus 30 to add that, plus 2240, plus 24,900. 27,238.25. Boom. Does it match my answer key? Yes, it does. I go off my script quite often. Common error. Please don't do this. Right? Multiply final answer by 1.12. Okay. This is after tax already, guys. This includes all applicable taxes. So it includes the 5% for safety. It includes the 7% that you paid for the car. All those taxes, boom, right, in one place. Question, who, did you pay attention? Who gets the 2,240? Autopack, right? So this, okay, this is how it goes. Okay, you buy the car. The owner of the Jeep gets 24,900. You pay that. You say, thank you, this is now my car. You sign a bunch of papers. When you go to Autopack to insure it, somebody has to pay the 7%, and that's going to be you as the buyer. So Autopack looks at what you actually bought the car for and what it is worth in their books. Like they have a computerized system, they look up your car and they will say, hey, for us, your car is worth 32,000. You got a pretty good deal, probably. That's what that's saying. And so they will tax you on the highest of these two. Okay? So in this case, 32,000 times 0.07 amounts to 2,240. So this is the PST on the car. Does that make sense? I like that question because this is confusing sometimes. Okay. Question. What if the book value had been 18,000? Which number would have gone in here? 24,900, because what you paid is more than what they think it's worth. Okay. You know why they have this book value thing? Because some people would sell their car for $1, but they would, like, behind under the table, they would actually say, oh no, give me $7,000, my car is worth $7,000, but I'll put $1 on this, or like super low on the sale. What did I call that? The bill of sale, sorry, the bill of sale. They would put a super low number, so they would go insure it, and then they would just have to pay like a few dollars for taxes. The province wants to get their fair share. So that's why the book value is there, to prevent people from lowballing them. Okay, that's the main reason. And if it gets written off, they know how much to pay you, right? Approximately. I'm almost done, guys. I know I talked a lot today. One more, like, how much did Joel pay in taxes? Like, what if it asked this? Taxes, only taxes. Okay, here it is, guys. You would do this. I have it on my formula. Use private. You simply take this part. Purchase. Write this down because this is a bonus. Purchase / book times 0.07 plus safety, watch this, times 0.05 parts and labor times 0.12. That's how you would do it. Notice that I changed this to a 0 and this to a 0 from the original formula. This is already a 0, so it's okay. So you're going to figure out the PST, how much you paid for the safety in terms of taxes, and parts and labor in terms of taxes. Okay. So we know that the book value is higher, so it's 32,000 times 0.07 plus the safety was $65 times 0.05. There is no parts and labor, right? Boom. What about the lien search, Mr. Dirksen? What's happening? There are no taxes there, so I don't need to worry about including that in my formula. I already know what this answer is. It's 2,240, so I'm not going to bother reinserting that. Plus 65 times 0.05, $3.25 that was paid for the safety here in terms of taxes. And so this is 2,243.25 taxes only. If I ever ask you to do that, I expect you to just know. You could tell that it was $3.25 because look, you went from $65 to $68.25, right? You could tell that it was a $3.25 tax addition there. Okay. Okay, Mr. Dirksen, my head is hurting a little bit. There was a lot of things that happened here. Yes. But I need you to practice. So I'm going to stop right here. For homework, you started in class, there is no homework, right? Just page 17 for sure. And I will also assign page 18, okay, for homework. Page 17 and 18. Write it down at the top of your, and obviously update your study sheet. That's always a given. We'll do a bit more tomorrow on buying a used car because there's more that you need to know. And we'll stop right here.